us what should have happened. And it was a nothing case, actually. It was found to be...
It was like a neighbor...
an ex calling in saying that...
Some vindictive shit.
Yeah,
and it was a foster parent. It wasn't even like a real parent.
Yeah,
it was a foster kid
of an
foster
infant.
Parent.
But the lady, she goes in, she's like, look, we've got this call. I've got to come in. I need to see the baby. She had her undress the baby. She had her, look. She said, I didn't even need to see under the diaper. She examined the baby. There was nothing. The baby was in full flesh. It was a very healthy sized baby.
Yeah, went to check, make sure the baby had plenty of food.
There was just that there was food in the house.
Make sure the water was running, that the stove worked. She just checked basically everything that you would need to care for a child. And it showed her filling out that body chart. And
it only took a few minutes.
Yeah, no time at all.
30 minutes, maybe.
Oh, not even that.
Probably not even that, but yeah.
But she, she just checked everything and looked to make sure there's baby food and juice and diapers and all the things that you need to take care of a child.
Right.
And she was like, okay, thank you, ma'am. I appreciate your time.
I'm sorry I had to,
Obviously,
take
this baby looks like she's in great shape. And she's happy. I mean, because, they blurred everything, but you could hear the baby cooing and all that. She was like, obviously, I feel like this was just somebody was out to get you.
Right.
And she went on.
And the only other thing she said was, whoever this person is, you just need to break off all contact with them, and then they won't have any
She said
reason
because if they've done it once, they'll do it again.
Yeah.
And she said, and you doing this, allowing me to do this shows...
Yeah, that you try nothing to...
Yeah.
As she was walking away, she said, I feel good walking away from this baby. I saw the baby. The baby looked great. The baby was happy. There were toys. Everything was appropriate. There was nothing that stood out to me that this baby, something wasn't right, or that I was being played, like somebody was showing me something for show.
Right.
And that's all they had to do.
Yeah.
But it was never done.
And every one of those fucking sheriff's deputies should be held criminally liable.
Oh, I think so too.
And every one of those CPS employees
and here's the deal:
should be held criminally liable.
The whole deputy department. Matter of fact, the chief of the department got really shitty with everybody and was all pissed off that they were investigating him. And matter of fact, the FBI got involved, and he got in a fight with the FBI. Went over to the FBI agent in charge of that investigation to her house.
He's like, he didn't get shot.
To her house.
And was like doing some bullshit about like a fake call, so he had a reason to fuck with her.
Two big old huge deputies over there
because it was a woman
basically
agent.
Intimidating her.
Yeah, they're lucky that they didn't get bullets.
Yeah.
I mean, that shows you, like, when people do wrong, they will entrench so much. Even people that are supposed to carry out the law will entrench so much to protect themselves that...
Yeah. I mean, literally, the prosecutor for months tried to get this file, and it finally, literally, they had the chief, I think, in there, and the judge basically told him, you will produce that damn file now.
Yeah, and it was it showed like the fact that there were no, it just showed like the reports, like the call out logs and all the, like we were talking about, like I'm here but now I'm gone, no notes, no nothing.
So now that we know they were horrible,
so it sounds like LA County Sheriff needs all of them need to be fired.
Yeah, they definitely dropped the ball, and like they were a big component of it.
Not only dropped the ball in a very corrupt way.
Right. Yeah. Well, they knew they'd done
they
wrong.
dropped the ball and then they tried to cover it up.
Yeah, and then they tried to intimidate FBI investigators.
Yeah.
That's a fucking felony.
Yeah. And like
impeding an FBI investigation, you can go to jail for that.
Well, hell yeah, falsifying reports and shit.
Oh yeah, oh absolutely.
That's so yeah, we've established that the sheriff's deputies certainly were part of the problem.
Oh yeah.
Then the CPS
now
workers.
Yeah.
So y'all said that that was a contractor, which
that wasn't DPS. Or DFCS, whatever the hell it was. DCFS. That was a government agency. But some of the other agencies out there, like partner agencies, etc., that are supposed to evaluate people when they come in, are contracted
Yeah, like
private
the hotline,
companies.
the hotline that takes the calls.
Is a privatized company that's contracted.
Well, see, I had no idea about that until today.
I didn't either.
Yeah,
I didn't until we watched that. I was like, I didn't even know that was a thing. And apparently,
and they went into a whole.
industry.
They went into a whole deal on that because
you were talking about Lockheed. Lockheed ain't gonna touch
Martin.
Lockheed ain't gonna touch anything under $100 million.
No,
I mean, $10 million.
Oh, they show. What did they show? They were showing like invoice stuff, and it'd be like 38 million, 52 million.
Oh yeah,
and the language,
million.
like they would highlight pieces in the language, like talking about like we think we can clear a lot of case files. We can make
make them go away.
We can make our clearance rate go higher. Our turnover rate.
It was all about
It was all about the profit.
Clearing these cases.
And I'm just sitting there sitting in my recliner screaming, "They're not cases, they're babies."
But to be fair, Lockheed is a corporation, and they have to answer to their stockholders.
Right. That's why, prisons shouldn't be privatized.
That's why they should not be. That should be a public sector job.
Yeah.
Right.
Because as a public sector employee, I work for a not-for-profit organization.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So if I got to work overtime, I just got to work overtime.
Yeah, me too.
And nobody really cares because
it's what has to be done for the public welfare.
Right. There's not a board of directors breathing down our neck.
That's why certain things should not be made for profit.
Yeah,
we've talked about the prisons before, and it's just
that's a $100 billion a year business.
And apparently, so is like sourcing out our child abuse hotlines and our social work stuff.
That's what was the state where they were interviewing the director and that
I don't remember
because they were just like, oh, it's working great for us. We're saving money.
It was somewhere on the East Coast. Yeah. That's all I remember.
I mean, it's like God.
It was just.
But here's the deal. Okay, what it comes down to, like DCFS. There was an individual, female, who was originally put in charge of Gabriel's case.
Wait, before you say that, you know where they put I just graduated.
She's a rookie.
Social work
she
school,
had just
or whatever
gotten
the fuck
out of college.
It.
She's a rookie.
You know where they put me? In the emergency, where I'm fielding emergency social work calls.
Maybe that's not the best place.
Yeah,
maybe that should be a seasoned person with something under their belt.
Has a clue what the hell's going on.
Yeah, I wouldn't think that would be a rookie job.
She was new, but whatever. So she's directly in charge of his case at that point.
Mm-hmm.
She had a supervisor. Okay. Once their case was closed, they were referred to another division.
Oh, okay.
There was another woman.
Because there was like the initial that evaluates and tries to do like crisis management.
Triage.
And then there's the part of DCFS that's like the family reunification or unification unit.
Yeah.
Right.
And so there was an older woman who used to be a nun. She was directly in charge of Gabriel's case at that point.
She's the devil.
And she had a supervisor. Okay, now, both supervisors in this case.
Well, she used to be a nun. She's automatically a bitch.
Well.
You ever met a nice nun? No, you have not.
Yes, I actually have.
You should have met her. She was mad and angry.
I've met nice nuns.
But anyway.
She probably got kicked out of the nunnery because she's so mad.
Each one of those women
You're too angry for us.
that were at one point or another in charge of Gabriel's case. They said they averaged 25 to 35 cases
a month.
Okay.
Right? So then their supervisor then supervises
so many workers.
5, 6, 7, 8 of those individuals who each have 30 cases a month.
So the supervisors have about, I think they said 350 cases. Let's not say cases. Let's say people, because that's what they are. People, children, families that they have to check. Like Amber has 30 families. Well, I've got 10 Ambers, and I'm having to do the spot work on Amber and her 10 colleagues' families.
Right.
So, fuck yeah. No wonder it falls through the cracks, because there's no way you could troubleshoot.
Well, to me,
cases
no.
Let's use Amber as an example. Let's say Amber's a social worker and she has 30 cases a month. Okay, if you're working every day of the month, I'm talking no time off, no vacation, no nothing.
That's
7
That's 1 day a month for you to visit see what the hell's going on, talk to whoever you need to talk to.
Do all
one
the
day a month.
paperwork.
Do all the paperwork. One day a month per child.
There's just no way.
There's no way. But this first supervisor, the young woman that was out of college and everything else, completely failed in every way. Just like these sheriff's deputies, etc. Never spoke to Gabriel, never saw Gabriel, would talk to the mother or the boyfriend. Oh yeah, well, some kids beat him up at school, or he fell off his bike, or he ran into the corner of the door, or
17 times in a row.
Yeah.
And she was like there were notes.
The body chart. Never did a body chart.
She's the one that failed to even...
Never did a single one. Acknowledged that he had
because she
injuries.
wrote about him in a report, and she like everything the mother would say, like she'd see like the scabbing and the BBs, and she would go, oh, he fell and got gravel in his knee. And like whatever the mom said, she was just like, all right. She never questioned. Never questioned him.
Here's the thing: if she's a former nun, then she believes.
No, she wasn't.
No,
she wasn't.
She was the new girl.
She was the young woman. The former nun's the one that falsified the fucking records to make it look like she didn't deal with Gabriel in the last month of his life because she didn't want the heat on her.
Yeah.
Well,
she absolutely.
There is no amount of confessions that's going to wipe that away.
Nope.
She's going to have to fucking answer for that.
So, to me, if anybody is criminally negligent, it's her because she falsified records.
Well, she's criminally negligent.
She knew the shit was fixing to hit the fan, and she basically removed herself from the situation within a month before
she was criminally negligent, and it sounds like the L.A. County Sheriff's Department is fucking corrupt and negligent.
Yeah. When pressed, they would really, rather than take the black eye, they would rather go corrupt and try to hide it.
And they tried to put them all on trial.
Yeah, they tried. They put the four. They never did. They said, the sheriff said, my officers will be dealt with internally.
I'd have been like, no, they won't. No, they'll be dealt with very much publicly.
Yeah, but now the social workers, they took the two supervisors and the two direct on the feet on the ground people.
Was one of them the fucking nun?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay, good.
She was from the family unification thing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And, I was a little conflicted about
they went
the
through grand jury. They went through
because
no, I don't think the supervisors were criminally negligent.
I think they just how many things can you have oversight of and really do an effective job. Yeah. Basically if you tell me, I've got it under control, I don't have any concerns, I can't dig deeper than you let me dig because I've got 289 other cases.
Yeah, I've got to do 10 of these a day.
Right. So I didn't feel like they should be criminally negligent, but the two that failed and falsified, to me, I was like, that's a no-brainer.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, they absolutely were not doing their job at all.
But
and knew enough that they weren't doing their job to cover their ass.
Yeah.
And it cost that boy his life.
Yeah. I mean, that proves that it wasn't an innocent mistake.
Ultimately,
because you don't try to cover it up if you know you didn't do anything wrong.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Ultimately, charges were dismissed
against all the social workers.
They never...
See, that's a big problem. Motherfuckers not being held accountable.
Yep.
Well, I thought it was really telling. They recorded the call when they first approached the former nun.
The nun. Oh, yeah. She
went nuts. They when they called her and was like, she's the lady started, hi, this is so-and-so from the prosecuting attorney's office, and I need to speak to you about your former work as part of blah, 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 blah. And she just why? Is it about the little boy? Well, yes, ma'am, it is. And she just went,
are you kidding me? I've already lost my job, my house, blah, blah, blah. Am I going to jail?
On me. Now I'm going to go to jail. You can't do this to me. It's not fair. And she's just cursing. And
I mean, she is screaming at the woman.
Yeah. And I mean, went from 0 to...
Yeah, she knew she was fucking wrong. Yeah, it's not fair. That's an interesting turn of phrase.
Yeah.
It's not fair that boy got beat to death, when she could have fucking stopped it at any point.
Time. If she'd have just done what she was paid to do.
Yep.
The bare minimum. If she had done the bare minimum of the standards of her job. Nobody's saying, y'all should have gone above and beyond. No, just do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, do what you get paid to do.
The net is there, and it can only fail if it's not implemented.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, okay, maybe there would have been a perfect storm and something still... But
probably not.
But, okay.
Because there are safeguards in place.
That's one case. That's one case.
Yeah.
2 weeks